Hello, good afternoon, good evening for most of our drivers here in today's Euro Trip Casual League Racing. My name is Adam Thursby. Welcome, everyone. You can call me Molson NFL. Just waiting for the server to roll over, which I need to check because I just heard the little zip go off there, and it may be ready to go for our Euro Trip driving today. It is, so we're going to get started right away. But I'm very excited because it came in rocking the Box 3. I love it. Just literally showed up. What says Alton Park? Says Barcelona on my screen, sir. We are in Barcelona for the Euro Trip race today as our drivers come in for the 3-4 minute free practice. We get things all connected here and ready to go. $34 drivers on track. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, whoa, see, that's what happens when you don't pay attention. Y'all can watch me change it. If I can spell today, you can watch me change it live. There you go. See, look, I'll even drag it over so it's kind of centered. I didn't make it all caps. Sorry guys, it's kind of last minute. I forgot this was going on today. My wife gets home like right at this moment. She literally just walked in the door, so a little befuddled today, but it is Barcelona. It is Barcelona. And I know, yes, the layout zap says, Alton, you just did this for me, and now I got to get it straight so I remember to change the text every time. I'm used to changing it once a week. Doesn't matter, because here's why it doesn't matter. We're going to switch over to the race cam, watch these guys practice for a few moments. But again, thank you everybody for being here. This is our Euro Trip League Casual PC ACC Racing. 15-minute qual coming up, followed by a 30-minute race. Hopefully a little cleaner than last week at Donington because it was quite intense for that race. Maybe here at Barcelona things will calm down just a little bit for our drivers. Or maybe not. As you see there, David Soul on your screen out running today. Will Green returns, the man running the Euro Trip League. Doing a great job putting that together. Paco Lara returns on a Monday. Daniel Pickett back in his Porsche, not the Pink Pig, but certainly back to join us on track. Maximilian Loeffler currently sitting in the pits as we come to the end of the free practice. Nikolai Tibuk. Saw him race yesterday. John Gray back last week as well. Neil returns. Clueless we see on track today out in the BMW. We saw him during the second race yesterday. Sprint race at Alton Park. Remco Otten's able to make it here just in time. Tobias Gable back on track after racing yesterday as well. A couple times coming in here at Barcelona during the free practice. Not many, but a few set. Will Green with a 145.9, our only 145 during the free practice. We'll see if that tightens up during the 15-minute qualification that is about to start. Get through some of the rest of these drivers as qual starts today. But again, 35 now on track. Take a moment here as we wait for time to run down to remind everyone our PC season, which ran yesterday, back next Sunday at Brands Hatch for a standard race, 45 minutes. That will happen on March 20th, 7 p.m. UTC. Don't forget, Pro Class Champ going to win that next level racing FGT Light Silver Class Champion. That car setup bundle. Most improved driver as voted on by the other drivers. We get that track map bundle, both from Coach Dave Academy. We thank them. Just in case you're wondering, yes, we are at the Euro League today, but it is back next week at Paul Ricard. We will be here at 8 p.m. UTC, 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time now. So be sure and join us next Monday for another race. And with that, qualification is started. We'll be able to get up here and take a look at some of our racers today. Rob Keesar returning in the Porsche. Philip Wyhan. Excellent to see all these drivers out here today. And so many that I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't recognize. I think a lot of folks coming in and joining us for the casual league here. Klaus Burfelt on track today, along with Matt Comiskey. Another BMW driver. George Garton. Onavold Shalango. In the McLaren. This many drivers on track for qual. Things do get tight out there. As we watch Nils Brouwer. Another Porsche. A good number of Porsches on track today. Kev Shallis joining us once again. Mason Williams on track today, along with Greg Zigme. Dogs start going nuts. Conrad Wisłocki returns. We saw him out here last week. Tomek Zbroja. So many drivers out today. We have just down to right now, number 24. G. Steven as we run down through our runners today. Thank you, Zap. Much appreciated, sir. Man, moving on the fly. Our first Audi out on track today that I love seeing. That's my favorite. Dave Alvarez Jr. Sim Racer GT out there. Lucas Smoke. A lot of McLarens today, but another Audi right there with Montini. That red and black Audi R8. Xander Galvin joins us in the Lexus. We'll get up there and check on times in just a moment. Joseph Scott, Team Tansy out in one more McLaren. In fact, we got a bunch of those in a row, 5 of them. Torbjorn Rasmussen, Kevin Silvares, Daryl Seens, Paco Laura in the Ferrari as guys start to jump around setting times. And Fabio Santamaria back out today. So again, time's starting to come in. Will Green right now leading this. Oh, and as I say it, that changes very quickly as Paco Laura takes pole position with a 144.767. Will Green, though, right there behind him with a 144.855. Those are only two 144s so far in the first 5 minutes of qualification. As we just looked at Fabio Santamaria just a moment ago, sitting at a 145.067, going to be sitting in third as of right now, as both he and Will Green drop back to the pits to make some adjustments. Lucas Smoke, 145.4. And George Garton, the 145.5. Again, only two 144s thus far here at Barcelona. Waiting to see how many of these guys get down into the 145s and how tight this race is going to be today. Everyone, we're looking at 145s right now down to P7 with Neal and Pickett both picking them up and moving into that range. P8, Brower currently sitting at a 146.1. The 145s continue to expand. With us here at qualification, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take a quick step away. As I mentioned a few moments ago, my wife literally walked in the door as this race was starting. I'm going to leave you on board with Paco Laura as I take a moment to go speak with her. Hopefully we'll get to see him make another lap here in Barcelona. But we will be back to review all the times before the start of today's race. 30 minutes, Barcelona. Things might get crazy if it's anything like last week at Donington. Let's hope not, though. Nice, clean racing here at Box 3 Motorsports, and I will be right back. And I'm back, folks. I apologize for that. I thank you for the time. With the time change, it made things a little bit wonkier for covering these. And unfortunately, after next week, I won't be able to cover the Euro Trip races here at Box3 Motorsports anymore. My wife has taken a new position. We'll be working out of the house, and we will be in the same room. So sitting here trying to cover a race while she needs to be on the phone and other things are going to be a little difficult. So we'll see what we can do about that. But today we're talking about this race. Let's take a look. With just under 5 minutes left to go, let's take a look at the times. Paco Lara just smoking it right now. Purple in all three sectors, 144.087. Wisłocki jumping up into P2 with a 144.6. But Alvarez right there, and we saw Will Green earlier in that 144 club, and joined also by Wyhan. Our top five today, all sub 145s. And as you see, the 145 markers go way, way down all the way to P19. This is going to be a tight race, which I think, you know, again, we saw that last week at Donington. A lot of these drivers, very similar skill levels, do a great job. Will Green now jumping back up into P2, getting down to a 144.54, so knocking Wisłocki back. As we come into the final minutes of qualification today. Again, 30-minute race, no pit stop required. We check in on Daniel Pickett. Filippo Montini in the Audi. We'll always put some focus on an Audi here at Box 3. But leading right now, Alvarez Jr. in the Audi. Currently sitting in the pits, but able to jump himself up into P5. Again, joining that 144 club. So our 144s now extend down to P6 with Wyhan in the McLaren. With Daniel Pickett just outside at a 145.097. Let's keep an eye on him, see if he's able to join that 144 club before the start of today's race. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though, as he dives back into the pits. Quick look at the track map for Barcelona. As you can see, a technical track. A lot of high-speed corners. These guys to fly through today. And again, we see that. Let's take a look at the times again, because this continues to change in flux. So Paco Lara losing purple in all three sectors. Wisłocki claiming sector 2 with a 144.1 now. But as you see, Santa Maria jumping up there. Garton, Green, Smoke. Our 144s now go all the way to P8 with Wyhan. That is unbelievably tight. This is going to be a hard drive up front, with 8 drivers all under that 145-minute mark. It's going to be very interesting as things kick off here now. Just 30 seconds left to go in qualification. And see who's going to lead out through T1. How much trouble are they going to get into coming down the pike? How much trouble are the drivers behind them going to cause as they attempt to get around that corner and get themselves moving down track as quickly as possible? We watch Wisłocki bring it down. And qualification. Most of our other drivers sitting in the pits. Let's bring those times up. Will Green still holding sector 3 purple at that 144.5. So tight up front today. And again, all the way down to P8 with those sub 145 times. And as we said earlier, our 145s then extend down to P20 with David Soul in the McLaren. Absolutely fantastic driving thus far during qualification today. Let's see if it holds up during the start of this race. We saw again Donington last week. A lot of incidents at Donington last week. And while this is a casual league, part of the I think part of the goal here, part of what we want to see and part of what should happen is, you know, kind of drivers who maybe don't want to get into that league environment. Very competitive, a lot of pushing, a lot of fast drivers, right? This is the opportunity to get in and do some racing within the league. So we still want to keep it clean for them, right? We still want them to have a good time coming here, being able to race their race and keep things as clean as possible. And with that, race time will be kicking off soon. And right there, folks, that's how fast it can change. I'm going to bring the times up. Santa Maria jumps up to pole in the very last possible second with our only 143 during today's qualification. And that's why we watch it all the way to the end. Start to get set here for 30 minutes of racing. Again, no pit stop today. The drivers will be flying straight out in a 30-minute sprint race. No reason to stop unless you pull damage, which hopefully we can avoid. Honestly, that's the hope, right? Once again, we'll take a moment to remind everyone our PC season continues next week at Brands Hatch with a standard 45-minute race. One mandatory pit stop during the course of that race. That Pro Class champ winning that next level racing FGT Light at the end of the season. Coach Dave Academy providing a track bundle for our most improved driver and a car setup bundle. The full bundle for our Silver Class champion. I want to thank both of them for doing that. As well, our Xbox season continues next Saturday, March 19th at Spa. That will be a 2-hour endurance race with a 4x time multiplier. We're going to start it a little bit later in game time in the day. So there will be driving in the dark for that. If you're an Xbox GT3 racer and you want to join us, by all means, head on over to the Discord. Exclamation box in the chat will get you that information so you can come join us and get your Xbox race on. And as we said, Euro Trip continues next week at Paul Ricard. Same bat channel, same bat time. You can catch it all right here for 30 minutes of casual racing as we get set now to start today's race at Barcelona. So again, right there at the end, Santa Maria, who, of course, the camera puts behind the sign, but Santa Maria jumping up to take pole position right at the end of qualification today with the only 143 set during our qual. Some great driving there, able to pull that out right at the very end. He's joined in row 1 by Paco Lara. Wisłocki and Garton will share row 2 with Green and Smoke in row 3. Montini and Alvarez will take up row 4, Wehan and Pickett in row 5. That's your top 10 right there. Broja Clueless, row 6. Remco Ottens and Tobias Gable will share row 7. Neil and Loeffler, row 8. Brewer and Zygmunt are going to share row 9 with Williams and Soul side by side in row 10. Again, a ton of drivers on track today, ladies and gentlemen. We go all the way down. We have 35 drivers for a casual race at Barcelona today. Just fantastic to see. And I can tell you this, you know, it's very interesting because I thought when Will had wanted to do this and said, hey, I want to put this like this casual league together, I really thought a lot of the same drivers that raced our normal PC league on Sundays would also join this. And some have, right? Will is here. We've seen Remco Ottens, Tobias Gable. Those guys, Clueless, those, you know, Pickett, they all run in our normal Sunday league. So many drivers are joining us for a during the week, you know, Monday afternoon, Monday evening race. I think it's great to see that we get this mixture of different drivers that are all joining Box 3 and able to find what they want. As far as in regards to the type of racing that's available. The other thing you'll notice, what's great about Barcelona as we wait for drivers to get started, is camera angles. I know, you know, a lot of the guys were talking about after yesterday's race that we miss a lot of the action into T1 because we're focused up front. The camera control in this game is not exactly easy. I have some software that helps, but Barcelona's cameras with the helicopter are great because if you focus back a little bit, it actually stays where it needs to, so you can see what's going on behind the driver you're focused on. So hopefully we'll catch a little bit more of that action today for everyone and be able to focus on all the drivers that have joined us today. Montini and Alvarez, I'll bring them up again, our Audi drivers, both of them qualifying 7th and 8th, right next to each other. The only Audis on track today. Wislocki and his McLaren out there. Again, George Garton, excellent showing today. P4 during qual. Well, Zap, I wouldn't say none. There's one. There's one. There's one Lexus. Give it up for Xander Galvin out in the Lexus today. Really what we see that today is McLaren. McLaren all over this track. Just going through my list, I mean, good number of Ferraris as well. 5 or 6 Ferraris on track today. Ferrari's leading with Santa Maria and Lara both driving the Ferrari. But McLaren's and BMW's in our top 5 as well. Now, during the practice session running up to today's race, listening in the voice chat, Will Green had forgotten to put more than 2 liters of fuel in his car for the start of the little bit of a practice race that we're running. We'll see if he dives into the pits this time. Kind of doubt it. Looks like he's doing just fine. Giving it a little gas in the warm-up lap. As our drivers head into double file, getting ready for the start of today's 30 minutes at Barcelona. Through that final chicane. Ambient temperature today of 21°C, bright sunshine, putting that track up at 29 degrees. Tires are going to be toasty as we get started here today. And there is the green flag. We are racing in Barcelona. Down into T1. We are going 3, sometimes 4 wide. Will Green looking to the inside. Santa Maria going to hold on, and Remco Ottens comes sliding across the track back further, and a conflagration ensues back in T1. Oh my. Steven able to get out clean, it looks like, currently sitting in P14, but Santa Maria holds on to P1 coming down out of T1. And now Wislocki sneaking up the inside with a little bit of door banging right there, and is going to let Montini on through as well, getting around Lara. They're holding inside now. Looks like Wisłocki having some trouble slowing way down through that corner, binding everybody up. Jump back. We got more door banging through the corner back here. There's a lot of yellow flags on track right now. Wisłocki now able to hold on to P2. And Ottens and Wyhan straight into the pits off of lap 1 T1. As Wisłocki leads the charge uphill. With Lara, Montini, Green, Alvarez, Smoke, and Neal all right there behind him. We'll bring our focus in a little bit right there on Wisłocki. We've got competition right up here up front today, folks. Tobias Gable into the pits now. A lot of position changing further back. Williams keeping Zygmunt, Garton, Gray, and Silvares at bay. Silvares bumping up ahead of Gray as he flies off into somewhere. I'm not sure what happened there. Looking like Silvares might have disconnected from the server. We see him go across the back of the screen again. However, Williams, Garton, Zygmunt, and Gray all... Garton now off track and spun sideways, letting a bunch of cars through. But Zygmunt continuing to keep Gray at bay. Brewer now as well, needing to keep Galvin behind him, playing some defense. Miskey and Burfelt. Miskey holding on, but a lot of damage on the front of that BMW. A lot of damage there, but now having to hold Burfelt and Brewer at bay. Burfelt looking towards the inside, not going to be quite there, but Brewer able to get around Burfelt in the background there in that Porsche. So now he will be the one applying pressure to Comiskey. And there he goes right on by again. Comiskey with a ton of damage at the front of the vehicle. Both drivers able to get through. Got to wonder if he's not going to look to hit the pits at some point. That car is severely damaged up front. Jumping here now though, Will Green looking to make a play on Montini. Taking the inside of the corner right there. Montini and Alvarez, the Audi drivers, now split with Will Green sitting in the middle. Looks like he's waiting for that opportunity. Santa Maria continues to lead our race today. Montini stretching it out over Will Green by over a second. However, Alvarez is right there. Will trying to play defense. Alvarez shooting to the outside, coming down into T1. Is he going to have enough pace to whip around the outside of Will? Again, a little door banging from these guys. Nothing wrong with that. David Soul moving up as well. But Kudasov taking it back quickly. And there we go. Kudasov holding on to that over Sol. Jump back to Zygmunt and Limpar. Limpar moving ahead. Zygmunt pushing to the outside, able to stay there though, with Limpar holding on. The P14 for now. Pickett and Gray right behind them battling as well. Pickett able to pick up a position. Going a little deep into the corner though. As Gray now looks to the outside. And Gray able to pick it up over Daniel Pickett. With Clueless right there behind him. Another stack of cars, not just Clueless, but Zbroja and Garten now catching up to these guys. And Clueless, something happened right there. Let's jump back and take a quick look at what happened to Clueless as he came through the chicane. Got yellow flagged for a second, lost position. A little bit of a push right there is all it took. Jump up close to the front. Smoke now defending against Neil. If Smoke can hold on here. So far doing a great job defending. As we continue to watch these guys, now G. Steven moving up into 10th. Fall off in the back, but Montini now again under pressure from Will Green as well. Clueless now into the pits. Will Green tightening down on that curb to keep that pressure up on Montini. Montini going wide. Is that going to open the door for Will? Another battle forming up back here. Gray holding Zbroja and Garten at bay now. As Zbroja looks to the inside. And there it was. Oh, and enough distraction that maybe Garten makes it as well, but not quite. Gray able to hold the inside on him. He's got the carry now, and there it is. Garten able to swing ahead of Gray, losing 2 positions in that short span of time. Zbroja and Garten both sneaking through. Daniel Pickett picking up position over Brewer, now putting himself into 21st. Clueless sitting in the pits, continuing to sit there. maybe there for some time. It didn't look like from the bump we saw in the replay that he had a ton of damage, but obviously enough to put him in the pits for a while. Looking up front, Santa Maria continues to lead. A little over 1 second back to Paco Laura, as Wisłocki now has cleared space. Plenty of room, plenty of clean air in front of him right now, with Montini continuing to have to play defense behind these guys with Will Green. Wisłocki able to run his race and not have to worry so much. Neil and Smoke again trading places. Let's jump back and take a quick look. Neil able to get that inside line. But it's Smoke is right back to it and able to claim it back right there. And again, Montini continues to hold Will Green at bay. I'm watching this timing. I'm watching the timing screen for this, and it, you know, gets out as far as about 7/10, and then Will Green tightens it up into within 2 or 3. We need to jump in here and take a look and see if he's going to be ready to make a move. But so far, Montini, great, consistent driving, able to hold Will Green at bay. Will Green, no slouch in that AMG. Montini making that Audi as wide as possible to hold him down. Chalice losing 3 positions now in P22. Yellow flag just a moment ago as Roja and Garten are about to go back at it as well. Will Green looking to the inside. And Will, a very patient man. Will is not someone who you see take wild chances to look to gain that one position, right? You saw it right there. He looked to the inside, immediately knew where his car was going to land and pulled himself right back in, not looking to overextend himself too deep into the corner and cause an incident. It's one of the things I love about watching Will drive, is that he's very careful with it like that. Loeffler and Steven now. Steven looking for a path. Even wanting to grab the inside on one of these corners, just not quite able to do it. But there he is right there, sneaking through as I say it. G. Steven able to pass up on Loeffler. Loeffler wants it back, that's for sure, and pushes Steven around the corner. That is a shame right there. Steven shoved around the corner, losing position. Alvarez and Will Green now losing. Will Green losing position. As we saw it right there, we caught the tail end of it, but let's take a look again through, looked like T2. Yeah, Will Green going deep into T1, letting Alvarez jump up. We've got Audi and Audi now within in T4 and 5. I'm sorry, P4 and 5. As Will Green drops himself back to P6. After I just got done talking such nice things about him, about how he's patient, he goes and throws it deep into T1. Allowing Alvarez to take that position. Nils Brewer. Let's see a book right behind him. Limpar and Garten now as well. "30-minute races produce a lot of great action, ladies and gentlemen. Hard to keep up with sometimes." Limpar holding on, but just barely. Garten continuing to apply pressure. Zbroja right there behind him as well. So Garton playing middleman, having to look behind him, play as much defense as possible while still trying to keep the gap up and look for his opportunity against Limpar. Tightening it up real quick. Garton heads inside. Not quite there, though. Oh, and Steven. These guys passing these. We've got 2 cars off somewhere. Go back on Steven and see if we can see what happened. He slid and right there pushes. Oh, that's a shame. Certainly not something done on purpose on Steven's part, right? But we could see it. And as we saw that, Garton able to get around Limpar as well. Limpar now taking it back as we jump back to live. These guys going side by side. Limpar holding on for now, but Garton and Roja right there. Garton again looking towards the inside. This time able to get around rather easily, but goes very deep into the corner. Roja sneaks through as well, getting around both of these guys. Garton not able to hold on, continues to stay in the position he was. Roja the one taking full advantage, claiming 2 positions up into P13 with that little move. Very nice driving there. Garton made the play. Oh, and Garton pushes Limpar now. Limpar going to lose position to Gray and others. A lot of bumps through that chicane today. Loeffler and Williams. Running a Williams BMW, not looking healthy. Not as bad as what we've seen earlier today, but certainly got to be playing a little bit with his ability to tighten up, but doesn't seem to cause him any problems with getting around Loeffler. And Loeffler spinning off into the grass now. Kudasov catching up quickly. Doesn't look like he'll be able to close that gap right now, though. But we've got to play up front as Santa Maria. Lara has been able to close the gap up on Santa Maria. Now running within 4/10, so coming here in with the last 10 minutes left to go in today's race, we may end up seeing a battle for P1. Wisłocki continuing to hold on to P3 right now, but a 3-second gap back, and Montini 9 seconds off that pace. So again, Wisłocki able to just drive his race right now. Clean air. Very little problems for him, it seems. However, Wisłocki with our fastest lap today by a 10th over Lara. This battle back here continues too. Montini, Alvarez, and Will Green all driving together today. As we watch back here, Loeffler and Kudasov for P10. Will Green now very close. Let's take a look. Again, seeking that opportunity. Able to get that cut and maybe get himself back ahead of Alvarez. And there we again have that AMG sandwich between the 2 Audis. And Montini not really opening it up too far. I mean, we're seeing a 1-second gap between Montini and Green right now, closing down into that 0.7, 0.8, but it'll be curious to see if he's able to hold the speed and keep Green a little bit further back with Alvarez still there and Green having to keep an eye on him. So Will Green, after a few laps, getting himself back to where he was previously, currently sitting in P5. Jump back down through P23. Galvin, Rasmussen, and Scott now running together as well. Rasmussen and Scott in twin McLarens. Facing down Xander Galvin. Xander Galvin, our lone Lexus on track today. I know Huff would be very proud sitting in the chat watching that single Lexus keep the McLarens at bay. We've got to check in with David Soul and Zbroja, though. Zbroja looking for that inside line anywhere he can find it. Now we've got to jump up front because it is getting tight here. Santa Maria continuing to lead Lara, but that gap has closed now as we come around for another lap down into T1. Lara swinging out wide. Again, waiting for that opportunity, right? Where's the mistake going to happen? A little shimmy coming around the corner. Santa Maria finally in this race after the first 15 minutes gone, now starting to feel some pressure. Had one out fast at the start of today's race and open up a 3 or 4 second gap, but now Paco Lara closing it down and looking for his opportunity. You have to figure both these drivers, no damage to the vehicles, not even minor damage. We haven't seen any incidents with either one of them. They got out of T1 very clean. So no damage, no aero problems, nothing that's going to slow them down versus some of these other guys that have tried to stay out, not go into the pits, even though they're carrying damage. We saw it earlier. It's going to be a straight race here to the end, just under 5.5 minutes left to go in today's race at Barcelona. Thank you everyone for being here. Lara now backing off just a little bit. Check in with Montini, Will Green, and Alvarez again. This has been a constant battle throughout today's race as well. Will Green getting himself planted firmly between the Audis of Montini and Alvarez. Lost position at one point, going way too deep into T1. Got it back. Got Alvarez back behind him. But to Montini's credit, has not yet given up that gap to let Will sneak through. But we're going side by side now. Will chasing him uphill now. On the wing of Montini's car as we see what he sees. Right there behind him. Will obviously carrying speed through that corner. Not quite enough. You know, and sitting where I sit, watching these lap times, we got to jump back up front, though, because, again, these guys are closing in on each other, T1. It almost appears to me as though Montini and Green are splitting the track, right? One of them is better in Sector 1, the other one's better in Sector 2, the other one's better in Sector 3, and so we're seeing that time flux, you know, again, out to 0.8, 0.9, and then tightens back up to 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. So is it, you know, who's better at which sector and in which corners even, which is allowing Montini to continue to maintain P4 right now over Will and Alvarez and not giving up a crack of opportunity to either one of these guys. Zap, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much, I do appreciate you, man. And I appreciate everything you do, too. I know you and I have been talking on the side, working on some stuff, and I very, very much appreciate that. This battle is going to continue right until the checkered flag flies. Just over 2 minutes left to go today in our Barcelona Euro trip race. Again, Tommaso Montini holding Will Green and Alvarez at bay. And not to be outdone as we look up front, though. Again, Santa Maria and Lara coming now up on back markers. Let's keep our focus here real quick. Hopefully we won't miss anything. We'll jump back to Montini and Green as needed, but both these guys able to clear one back marker very easily. Anytime you get hung up in that traffic, you got to wonder, right? Is one going to get through? Are both going to get through? Is there going to be an incident? And this is why I always say to back markers, do not drive off the track. These guys are going to pressure you. They're faster than you. That's okay. But if you look at something like that, where you drive off the track, suddenly there's no control there, right? Like you're sliding across the gravel or you're sliding across the grass. Well, what happens if suddenly you come back on track unknowingly or without thought, and now you take them out, right? So now you've done worse than just letting them sit behind you for another turn or two. And this is why it always drives me crazy. It's a pet peeve to watch back markers go off track to let faster drivers by. I just do not believe it should happen ever. They'll wait. It'll be fine. Smoke and Neil continue to battle back here as well. Lucas Smoke in the McLaren, with Neil in the Aston right there behind him. We're going to have a lot of battles to watch in the last lap of this race, ladies and gentlemen. Santa Maria opening up to just over half a second above Lara right now up front. As we start our final lap with our leaders, we'll continue to jump back and forth, folks, try to catch all the action right here. But these are our race leaders. Santa Maria continues to hold on to P1 right now. But Paco Lara has applied pressure in the last half of this race. It has just got to be unbelievable to deal with. Both drivers going to push this right to the end. Will Green and Alvarez still continue to apply pressure to Montini. We'll check back on them in just a moment. Williams and Loeffler as well as we scroll back through. But it's Ferrari and Ferrari up front. Steven yellow flag just a little bit further back is why you're seeing that. Gets himself back on track and ahead of these guys. Bumper to bumper, heading down into the start-finish line. Will Laura have the speed to get around? Not quite. There it is. Santa Maria holds on to the end of the race. That's weird. Laura not getting the checkered flag in P2. And both these guys stopping. Steven trying to get by and finish his race. Very strange Laura not getting the checkered flag. Now yellow flagged, so we'll see what happens there. But Montini holds on to P4 with Will Green right there behind him. Alvarez holding on to P6. Smoke and Neal finish as we saw earlier, but Williams and Loeffler very close coming up here to the end. These two have been running together most of the race as well. Maybe something to talk about for the races, you know, during the drivers' meetings and things is we just saw it up front, right? Santa Maria, as we see Williams and Loeffler finish, but Santa Maria and Lara coming across the finish line, right? Finishing their race. Steven looking to finish his and unable to get around, right? So guys probably shouldn't stop. Do the victory lap and head back into the pits, maybe? I don't know. Don't want anybody getting taken out when they're just trying to finish up. But there it is, folks. Euro Race 2. Barcelona, Santa Maria, Paco Lara, and Wisłocki. Wisłocki, again, very quiet, able to run his race the whole time. No problems today. So excellent to see. That is your podium for Euro trip number 2. I do want to thank everybody for joining me today. Again, my name is Adam Thursby. Call me Molson. Come to the Discord. Don't forget, exclamation point box in the chat. We'll get you to the Discord. Also, if you want to look as cool as I do, right? Like if you want to be this awesome, exclamation point shop in the chat will get you some Box 3. Let's not forget about that. But what can you expect next? What can you expect next? Well, we're back next Sunday at Brands Hatch, one of my favorite courses for a standard race. Our PC League will jump in. Again, thank you to Next Level Racing and Coach Dave Academy for their sponsorship of our this season of PC ACC Racing. And don't forget, we're back next week at Paul Ricard. More Euro Trip racing right here at Box 3 Motorsports. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. You guys are fantastic. Thank you to all the drivers that came out and participated today. Again, it's great to see different people on track than we normally see in our Sunday league races. So having this both run, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And hopefully some of these guys from the casual end up jumping into the league races as well. So thank you again, everyone. And you can catch us right back here in 1 week, a little less than 1 week on Sunday. Thank you.